Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And I'm proud to announce that Batman vs. Superman was a good movie. It was a great movie. It was an excellent movie, as a matter of fact. The critics that panned this movie on Rotten Tomatoes as a 33%. I am quite sure now that this is completely fucking ridiculous, the way how critics rate these movies. I know I did a review 2 years ago, 3 years ago on Man of Steel, another movie that was panned. You know, they really have it in for Zack Snyder, apparently. Every single time this guy comes out with a movie, they're panning his movies. And, you know, I'm looking at a movie like Age of Ultron that pretty much got an undeserved pass from critics, getting a fairly decent ratings from most of them. And Batman Superman getting criticized for having style over substance when it had one of the most intricate plots I've ever seen. This movie had a plot that made Age of Ultron look like a fucking joke. Made most superheroes movies look like a fucking joke. Dead-on performances. Fucking Ben Affleck, I've totally accepted this guy as Batman. I say, come on, people say, oh, I see the critics, oh, I want Christian Bale back. Shut the fuck up. I like Christian Bale. I've talked about in videos before how much I like Christian Bale as Batman. But Ben Affleck did a great impression on me. I mean, holy shit. And I'm still a fan of Henry Cavill. And Jesse Eisenberg, what a great job as being Alexander Luthor, the son of Lex Luthor. Doing a performance of just pretty much a crazed madman, just a fucking lunatic. It worked incredible. There was just a lot to love about this movie. I love the story. I love the mythos. I love how they got into exactly Superman and why he's worshipped, and the imagery. Some of this imagery that you see, the cinematography, it's just fucking breathtaking. When there is CGI, it looks good, and they know when to utilize it. I mean, this is a movie that really, the director, Zack Snyder, showed me exactly why I love Man of Steel. And, of course, tons of spoilers here in this video. Tons of fucking spoilers. So, you know, I'm not sure how deep I want to get into it right now with this review. I might re-review it over time. You know, if anybody else has any questions about the film, I'll probably look into it more. But at the beginning of the film, we see the continuity from Man of Steel, where we see Superman's actions actually have repercussions. You know, and I love this, that everybody was complaining about Man of Steel. Oh, Superman didn't save the city. He destroyed the city. And, you know, I pretty much pointed out that the fight was a battle between two gods, Superman and Zod, you know, two Kryptonians. What forces could possibly be more powerful than those two? Well, it turns out that one of the buildings they destroyed was actually one of the Wayne Enterprise buildings. And we see what happens, how many people have suffered because of the consequences of these two battling it out. And now we see that it gets into politics. And Congress starts talking about the repercussions of Superman's actions. And sometimes the real life factor of this really wears on you. I mean, this was a movie that really had me on the edge of my seat. I mean, fucking just, it was crazy. Now, actually, there was no room in the fucking theater. The seats were like fucking Swiss cheese, so I shouldn't even say edge of my seat. I should say edge of the stairs. Yes, I actually sat on the fucking theater stairs eating popcorn with my fucking friends. So, you know, there you go. So I was on the edge of the fucking stairs, I guess you could fucking say. But I really have no big complaints yet that I could see so far in this movie. I mean, it was really awesome. There was nothing really lame about this movie, nothing that really bothered me from an acting standpoint, from a visual standpoint, from a storytelling standpoint. I was pretty satisfied. I mean, there was no part in this movie where I was, you know, kind of like, you know, growing restless or anything like that. And keep in mind, I was sitting on the fucking stairs. So you could imagine how my fucking ass felt. And the fact that I'm being kept this thoroughly entertained throughout that is a testament to exactly how entertaining the movie is. Very entertaining. I just think the characters are portrayed so well. And what I love is that they don't... In the beginning, you see a little bit of the Batman origin as it relates, you know, but they just jump right into it. Batman is older. Superman is already, you know, well into his career as Superman, his tenure as Superman. So the thing is, I love that. How many times have we seen reboots, just retelling of origin stories? And here we are, we're actually getting a full-fledged story. The son of Lex Luthor, Doomsday is there. We get to see Wonder Woman. We get to see some little tiny cameos, I guess you could call it, from The Flash, from Cyborg and Aquaman. So, you know, this... And to say that there was too many characters, give me a fucking break. Those were only little cameos. And really adding Wonder Woman in Doomsday, was that a little bit too much? I mean, come on. If anything, that's why this movie was 2.5 hours. And that was the other thing that I was so surprised about. The fact that this was 2.5 hours and the time was utilized so well. I mean, every single moment in this movie takes advantage of the time given. And I'm just left wondering, like, what, were we watching the same movie, me and the critics? I mean, what the fuck? I mean, I've seen them give better ratings to fucking movies like Ghost Rider or some shit like that. I mean, I really don't know what the fuck they're smoking. I mean, they must be on some heavy fucking shit. I mean, they must have fucking, these critics must have upgraded to fucking heroin or something. Because I really don't see where they're calling this such a flawed movie. Something inside me told me, when I saw 32% or 33% on Rotten Tomatoes, I was like, there's no fucking way it's that bad. Maybe it's not as, you know, it's not going to meet the hype as expected. And when I sat there in the theater, I mean, like, you know, I had my expectations a little bit lower, but I kind of still knew I was going to get something entertaining. I just didn't expect it to be this good as it actually turned out to be. I don't know what the fuck the critics were watching or what they expected from this movie or where they're getting these supposable claims of style over substance, too many characters. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe these fucking critics are just, I don't really have an explanation for it. All I'm just going to say is I'm pretty sure this movie is going to still do pretty well at the box office despite the ratings. Way too much promotion for the critics. I think a lot of people know not to listen to the critics and don't listen to the critics. If you're one of those people that mostly find yourself agreeing with the critics, then I guess not. But if, you know, if you've ever been skeptical of the critics' reviews on shit, go see this movie. Do not let the fucking critics stand in your way because you miss the opportunity of missing out on a great fucking film. I loved it. I loved everything about the movie pretty much. So guys, I might touch on this on future videos, but this movie, I adored it.